Warning! The Stone Age Gamer podcast includes a lot of bad language. Cover your motherfucking ears.
Good evening and welcome to the Stone Age Gamer podcast. I'm Kris Randazzo and joining me tonight is, wearing a t-shirt with no pants, Dan Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, yeah.
You know I'm
As
right.
often as I can.
Welcome to the SAG Cartoon Express, where Dan and I watch random old video game-related cartoons and discuss them for your entertainment. We're kicking off this new segment with the pilot episode for the Bubsy cartoon that never got made. What could possibly go wrong? Don your exclamation point t-shirt because the Stone Age Gamer podcast starts now. Well, hi there, Dan. This is episode 501. It's the week of February something, 2024. I'm looking at my calendar. What is it? It's about the 16th. Wow, 16th.
Man,
yeah, let's do that.
We got so professional here at the beginning, and then right back off. Maybe in another 500 episodes we'll get there.
You just have to lure them in with the opening paragraph. Everything past that, you don't need any professionalism. How you doing, buddy? How you doing, huh?
I'm all right. I'm tired. Yeah.
Good talk.
The puppies. Yeah. Good night.
Oh,
I've had enough.
the puppers. Speaking
The
of the
puppies.
puppers, where the hell is my dog?
Oh, I don't know.
Probably trapped in John's room.
It wasn't my turn to watch him, to be fair.
Fair enough. Anyway, go on.
On Sunday, 2 days after we record this, the puppies will be 9 weeks old. And one of them has been adopted. Bowser has been adopted. He was the biggest one. And I think I reported last week, like it's official. I think I had mentioned last week or the week before that they were around like 15, 16 pounds at the smallest. They are now over 20 pounds at the smallest. And we had to take down the whelping box that I built because they're too big for it. So we have this gigantic X pen up in the house right now. And because they are at the age and the size that they are, they have to be out, right? And they have to be playing and running and all of those things. And it is just a fucking nightmare, Kris. Like, it is just, I walk into the door from work and it's like, oh dear God. All right, everybody come bite me. Everybody come jump on me. They're all like, fuck, you're here. You're here, something new to chew on. Son of a bitch, we're so excited. And their teeth are real sharp. And they're just, they're fucking everywhere, Kris. They're everywhere. And I can't, they wrestle and they fight and I can't focus on anything. It's absurd. It's absurd. I'm so tired. I'm so tired.
I cannot imagine your life, sir.
Peach, the mother, has decided it does not matter. She's not allowed in my bedroom, right? Naturally, because enough. She has decided that she no longer likes that arrangement because she can't tell us when the puppies are doing whatever or when she, whatever the fuck she wants. I don't know what it is. But the door jamb or the molding around my bedroom door used to be white. And it is now back down to the wood because she just puts at whatever time she feels like it. Sometimes it's 5:30 in the morning. Sometimes it's 4 in the morning. She just puts her big old paw on the fucking molding of the door and just drags it down like nails on a chalkboard. Because even though I get up and I yell at her, I'm still up. And she doesn't understand that not all attention is good attention. She's like, oh, you're here? Sweet. Let's go hang out. Fuck you.
Do you think it doesn't understand or doesn't give a shit?
Maybe a little bit of both. I think if she did understand, she still wouldn't care. I think that's really where it's at. God damn it, man. I'm just exhausted. exhausted. It is and I did this to myself. Nobody made me do this, Kris. That's the worst part. This was voluntary. This was a bad idea. You weren't like, hey, you shouldn't. Where were you?
I was here, not having a bajillion dogs.
Well, fuck, Kris. How's that help me?
You have one less dog.
What kind of friend are you? Prick. I did find out something interesting. Interesting? Weird? I don't know. I thought it was kind of interesting. So a single sperm. Okay. I know it's weird. It's a weird transition. All right. Yeah. No, it's a single sperm has roughly 37.5 megabytes of data in it, of DNA information, right? So like 37.5 megabytes of data. And if you extrapolate that out to a full ejaculation, on average, I obviously didn't go around measuring, but on average, that would be a data transfer of 1,587.5 terabytes of information, which is crazy. And like, it was just like, I read that, I'm scrolling through and I read that and I was like, man, that is a lot of information to swallow.
You're a funny guy.
Yeah. That's where I'm at, Kris. This is what I got. We did a 5-hour podcast last week. I think I've slept maybe 6 hours this entire week. It's this is what you get. A lot of information to swallow, jokes. Which is what the people are here for, I think.
It's what they demand.
How you doing?
I'm doing okay. Ellie was homesick yesterday. A bunch of kids in her class were out. There's something going around, but she went back to school today. We John's been talking a lot about wanting to watch Godzilla destroy stuff, and so we wound up watching at your recommendation Godzilla Final Wars, which was fucking terrible in the best way possible.
It really is. It's a bad movie, but it's fucking great. It's so great.
Yeah, it was really we were entertained. Everyone in the room, especially once there came a point where Karen texted me. Let's see what the exact words were. She texted us. We started the movie at about 6, and then at 6:57, she texts, "Where the fuck are the kaiju?" And then shortly thereafter, they did show up, and then the rest of the movie was just delightful.
All of them
stupidity.
Show up.
Yes, all of them.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. I love it.
That was a good time. I also did a fun experiment with pizza tonight. I had a new pie that I hadn't had before.
Godzilla pizza.
It was a barbecue Hawaiian.
Okay.
So we like Hawaiian, and I was talking to my friend Joe, who also makes pizza on a weekly basis, and we were like farting around with the idea of a barbecue Hawaiian, because I thought that's what he said. It was like a typo or something. And so I was like, a barbecue Hawaiian. So we're thinking, what? Replace the regular pizza sauce with barbecue sauce, grill the pineapple, and then he recommended red onions diced, and then he recommended instead of regular ham or bacon to do Canadian bacon. So I did that. I did most of a package of Canadian bacon, diced that. I think I went a little bit too heavy on the barbecue sauce, but all in all, it was a successful experiment. It was pretty tasty.
What type of barbecue sauce? Did you go like a sweeter sauce or?
Yeah, Sweet Baby Ray's honey.
Okay.
Honey barbecue sauce. It's the barbecue sauce we had in the house at the time.
It wasn't like a special barbecue sauce. You were just like, this is what I got.
Yeah, this is what I got. I'm a big fan of
Right.
Sweet Baby Ray's. Hey, look, there's
Oh,
Hopper.
well-
He just showed up. How's it going,
Love-
buddy? You doing all right over
Love
there?
Sweet Baby Ray's.
You being a dog? He's just being a dog. He's doing a good job.
Dogging about the place.
Yep. Just dogging around. Getting ready to find his spot on the couch. Join me for the podcast. Share his thoughts when he's ready. Good boy.
That's right. I'm interested to hear what Hopper has to say about the rumored PlayStation games coming to Xbox. I feel like his
Hopper,
insight is
what do
going
you
to be invaluable, honestly.
What do you think, buddy? You got anything to say? No. He's sniffing his crotch right now. No, that's about what he thinks about.
Yeah, all right, fair. That's how I feel about Halo. So it's very crotch sniffy.
Oh boy, yeah, we will definitely get to that.
I know we will. I know. I'm just fucking around.
Did you play anything? Have you played any of the old Vigi games?
Not really. Mine is just like the maintenance stuff that I play. Show Snap. New season of Snap started. They did so. Here's the thing. I don't know how I feel about it, Kris, because I feel like my gut reaction to the announcement was, well, I should never open this app again. Which I thought was maybe a bit of a strong reaction to it. But they're now sending, and it's just started. I haven't gotten one yet. There's not like enough data going around in the community to really kind of judge how scummy or potentially nice these offers are going to be, but they are going to be sending personalized offers in your shop for real money based on the type of player that you are. So perhaps you will get offered something that is a variant and credits, or a premium variant and gold, or a this and a this thing. And they're going to use like the data that they collect from you, which obviously you're playing their game. They're going to collect data from your account. All of that is understood. But to then send like directed bundles for you to purchase feels really fucking predatory. Like when you put it that way, it doesn't feel like I don't see how that's a good or okay thing. But maybe it's not as bad as like I initially thought. Maybe it's not so crazy. I don't know.
I'm not entirely sure I'm understanding I'm not sure I'm following you. So it's Marvel Snap, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to send you on your birthday.
No.
personalized-
No, in your shop. So right now, if I open Marvel Snap and I go into the shop, there is a bundle right now for a Sunspot variant, 2,000 credits, 155 boosters, and an avatar. Okay, so a cosmetic plus boosters. That is $10. $9.99. Then there is another bundle that is 2 cosmetics, a magic variant and a Doctor Strange variant, the avatars that go with both of those cards, 310 boosters for each of those cards, 2,000 credits, and 3,000 collector's tokens. That is $40. Okay, so there's different bundles that are sent out to everybody. But then they have also said that they're going to be sending personalized bundles to players. So if you're the type of player who spends a lot of tokens, you might get a bundle that is like, hey, for $20 you get X amount of tokens and a variant. Or if you're the type of player who upgrades the shit out of cards all the time for variants and splits and whatnot, and you need credits to do that, you get a bundle that is credits and a variant, or whatever the case may be, for different real life, U.S. American dollars at different times throughout the weeks, throughout the months, but all based on you and your playing habits. It's like directly targeted advertising, but with a monetary component behind it.
Like personalized deals.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that doesn't sound so bad.
I don't know. It feels really shitty, though. I don't know. It feels weird, I guess, because it's a game and not... I don't know. Because Amazon does the same thing all the time, right? Like, you buy a thing on Amazon, and then you get an email, and it's like, hey, here's a bunch of other shit. Here's how much it is. Like, it's really not that crazy, but it feels different to me for some reason in, like, a mobile game where I already gave you guys, like, $20 a month. Fuck off. You're not getting any more out of me. I don't know. It feels kind of strange. I think more...
It's a mobile game. Their entire purpose is to be as scummily monetized as humanly possible. Like,
for sure.
I don't know. It just sounds like... It sounds almost friendly to me. Like, in comparison to what the general consensus of mobile games is, what you're talking about seems like, reserved.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think the idea that there is a mobile game that is scrubbing your data to the point where they are sending you personalized offers versus just the general offers that are sold regardless, that kind of expected scummy thing. I don't know. I've never encountered something like that before. It just kind of gave me pause. I was like, man, I don't know. It feels kind of weird. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Well,
I don't know, but I still played it a bunch this week. So
I'm sure it's fine.
I mean, I'm not going to...
really. We got... we had a thing with the electric company came out and gave us a bunch of free light bulbs. I think I told you about that a little while ago. And they... while they were there, they're like, we can install a smart thermostat to help you save money for free. We got a program going on right now. And we're like, okay, sure, why not? I like smart things.
I love smart
things. I talked to my friend and she was like, yeah, I don't know, man. Then they can like, I don't know, it feels like they could control your stuff. Like they'd have your information. I was like, it's a Google device. They already have all my information.
Yeah, that is certainly true.
What are they going to do? Lower the degrees in my house? That is like the least, that's the least dangerous thing they could possibly do to me. I am so far over that dam, it does not fucking matter.
Yeah.
So the guy showed up and he installed the smart thermostat, which is pretty spiffy, and I can control it with my phone, which is nice. So like whenever I go out of town, I can be like, all right, let's change the temperature while I'm away and then make it right back to comfortable when we come back. Like, it's just nice to be able to do that from a distance without having to get up and, to actually do it, because that's the level of lazy I am, I suppose. But he also left a bunch of shit here. I walked out to take the kids to school the next day, and there were 3 more thermostats in his entire tool bag with his drill and everything in it.
Oh, that's like, yours.
He's gonna want this stuff back. So I texted him, and he said he was gonna come get it, and then he never did. So I'm gonna hang on to it for a little while longer, and then at a certain point, we were like, well, how much do these things fetch on eBay? Because
maybe you should just go around and install a bunch of thermostats for people. It looks all official. Be like, yeah, I could. We're doing this for free. It's this program. Just see if you can get away with it.
I watched him do it, and I wasn't 100% confident that I could remember what those wires did. He's like, he pulled the old one off the wall, and he was like talking to me about the whole process. Like, I said, this one here is going to control your fan, and this one here is going to, this one does the heat, and then we got to make sure that that what kind of heater you have. And I was like, yeah, this is just like, I could get this, but I'm not paying enough attention right now. So it's ever so slightly above my pay grade, and I'm going to let you do your thing.
I could get
so
this,
hopefully he comes back over the weekend.
But I don't.
But other than that, I haven't been playing much. Daily Dadish is over. We did it. 365 days. Over. Well, until the 29th, because this is a leap year, so there's an extra day this year. So there'll be a unique level on February 29th. and then I will have seen everything that Daily Dadish has to offer. I was going to continue for a little while, because I did it the next day after it ended, and you go there and all my medals are there, so it's like, it's done. I've already gotten the star, but then I played the level just casually, and it was such a reminder of how much more I like Dadish when I'm not trying to speedrun. When
you're not just rushing through.
Right.
Gotta go fast, gotta go fast.
You gotta get the star, and the only way to get the star is to play it unreasonably fast. But then I was like, I just stopped and like waited for every trap and just waited on the timing. It's like, I so prefer this nice casual pace for Dadish. I really cannot wait for the theoretical Dadish 4 to come along and just bring me a more traditional Dadish experience.
Is it happening? Has it been talked about, or is it?
Yes, it has been talked about on his Twitter. He said something along the lines of, yes, I'm working on the next Dadish game. He didn't say anything about what it is. It's Dadish 4, but he's working on another Dadish game.
Okay.
So that's kind of nifty.
That is kind of nifty.
I think I mentioned that I finished Arzette. I mentioned that last week. Oh my God. So I got in the mail this press kit for Arzette, which is fucking amazing. I cannot believe how cool this is.
Absurd.
It's ridiculous. What I didn't show off in the Discord, there's this like little miniature book-shaped thing, but when you open it up, it plays the trailer for the game on a little screen that's built into it.
That's wild.
It is so freaking cool. I got confirmation that the CD that was in there is not actually a CDI CD. They just made it look that way as a nod to the way people used to get promo games for CDI back in the old days. And I got the damn controller, which I tested out today, and it's fucking terrible.
Well, yeah, it's a spoon.
How
good
really
can it fucking be?
It's exactly as bad as I imagined it being, which is not as bad as the CDI controller that I have. I stand by that the controller I have is the worst of the CDI controllers, which is the wireless one that's just a little circle, squishy rubber pad. It's fucking awful. This one at least has tactile buttons you can press. So I played I went right to Arzette. I plugged into the USB port. I went straight to Arzette. I turned on the classic controls, and it was like, this is absolutely hysterical. I was just pressing up to jump, and I was able to get through a stage. I went to the first stage in the first area in the game, and this character I had met earlier in the game was like, if you can beat me to the end of this level, then I'll give you something. It's like, oh, right, because there's still like stuff for me to do in this game. I didn't 100% complete it. Yeah. And I was able to do it. Even with that shitty controller, I was able to beat him to the finish line. So there is your example of how well done the controls in Arzette are, even when you're playing with that goddamn thing.
Now,
and then I made no, go ahead.
Can you use that controller on other games?
Anything you want. The Switch recognizes it as a Pro controller.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
So I booted up Super Mario Brothers to see how far I could get.
I was going to say, you need to beat Super Mario Brothers with the CDI controller.
It's going to be a challenge. Or are you even
a real gamer?
It's not doable. Like, I think I can do it, but I didn't have the time for it today. I beat like the first couple of levels just to see how it would work. The problem is that the A and B buttons are absolutely nowhere near one another. So if you look at the little spoon-shaped thing, the A button is on the three buttons that surround the circle at the top. The A button is the top right one, whereas the B button is one of the tiny buttons, one of the 6 tiny buttons on the bottom of the controller.
Sure.
So the way I played it was I used my thumb on the, let's call it D-pad, to move Mario around, and then I kind of used my thumb and then my middle finger to hold the B button and then use the A button to jump. It's ridiculous. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And you can't use save states or the rewind feature because the controller doesn't have L2 and R2, so you can't access the in-game Nintendo Switch Online menu. It also doesn't have a right analog stick or a regular analog stick. So while it registers as a Pro controller, it does not have all the functionality of a Pro Controller, obviously. But
That's outstanding.
The cord's nice and long. I was able to sit back on my couch. I can't believe this stupid fucking thing exists. It is the dumbest thing. It's amazing. I can't believe how well it works. And I can't wait for somebody to make a CDI adapter for it, because it's going to happen.
Yeah. Would it theoretically make CDI games more enjoyable? Or are they just so far gone?
Oh, no, it would. It's literally the CDI controller. Like,
no, I know, but it actually
is expensive.
Works. Yeah.
Well, it works. So does the old one. The old this kind of controller, not the one that I have with the rubbery thing, because this one was all hard plastic buttons. So it functions exactly the same as that old one. It's just that this is new. It's like those new 2600 joysticks. It's like, well, here's that old thing, but new. Hooray. So rather than track down, like, you can order one of these now. You can order one of these for like $35, I think, whereas actually finding an original one for CDI on eBay is like twice that at least. So it's a nice way of getting your hands on that shaped controller if you're a fucking lunatic and you actually want it, because
if that's some torture, you definitely shouldn't.
You really
But if
shouldn't.
you would like to put yourself through that particular brand of hell, feel free.
But the other good news about all the email correspondence I've had with the Arzette team is that the creator of the game would like to come on the show and chat with us sometime.
Fuck yeah!
So I absolutely want to make that happen, because I've got so many questions about this game. I finished my review, which was pretty challenging, and I actually had a little bit of back and forth with my editor about it, because I wrote the review and I put a score on it, and he was like, your review doesn't read like it matches this score. Like, you're praising this game. You're making it sound like this is at least an 8 or an 8.5. And I scored it a 7. Right. And I was like,
no,
because
it's not.
I was like, because that's how I feel about it. And he was like, and he said, I understand that the number is what you want to put on it. I'm saying all the words you're writing in here are not making it sound like that. So you need to either you're scoring it too low, or you need to change the words to make it match it. Because, like, he was 100% right. I was basically just gushing about the game towards the end of it and saying these kind of hyperbolic great things about it because of how happy it made me. And I was like, yeah, I really do need to kind of rein this in and focus on why I don't think it's... I just could not reasonably, thinking about the other things. Ah, damn, the big one popped already. Missed it. I was just about to start doing the big gambling thing. I had a half an hour. I was like, yeah, I'm going to wait till 9:40 and then get started. Holy crap, it was $46.
Son of a bitch.
That's what I get for talking about Arzette. Anyway, yeah, so the what's it called? The thinking of the other games that I've rated around like 8s and 9s, I was like, yeah, like, I love this game, but it's the CDI Zelda games polished to their absolute shiniest. But those are such an intrinsically flawed thing to begin with.
Right.
There's only so good that you can make that without starting to really move on to the next level. Like, I think there's a lot of potential here. If they make a sequel to this, then it could theoretically be really, really freaking good. So, but
it can't be this.
It can't. Yeah, this is about as good as this can be. So the way I put it in the review was like, I wound up upping it to a 7.5. I was like, I feel good about this because you cannot undervalue the effort and creativity it took to make this concept come off so good.
Right.
But I also put the caveat in the review that if you are a fan at all of the original CDI games or the CDI in general, if you're a fan of any of that stuff, then you can tack another point onto this score. Because, like, me personally, I had like an 8.5 worth of fun out of this thing. But
for the public at large,
exactly, for people who aren't like CDI goons, who didn't look at this machine with starry eyes as kids, it's at least a 7.5, which is a solid score. Like,
no, that's very
a 7.5 is a very good score. Like, I'm using, I intend to use the entire 10-point scale and not what most people look at when you look at review scores of like, well, anything less than an 8 is garbage. And then it's got to be, if it's not a 9.5, then it's probably trash. Right. And 9.5 to 10 is acceptable. Like, that's not
which is
how
absurd.
I want to do things. Yeah, this is completely insane.
That's absurd.
It's such an interesting game that I'm so glad exists.
If we are going to have this guy on the show, I do need to play this game. I am not going to buy this game. It's just not a thing that's going to happen. I don't know if you want to ask him for another review code or we got to figure something out, because that'll be a really weird interview. I'll just sit here going, yeah. Uh-huh.
When I reach out to him about actually making the schedule, I'll see if there's a way that I can, if I can get you another code.
Is there a PS5 code? Is it on PS5?
I think so.
Or is it just Switch?
Oh, it's definitely not just Switch. I don't know if it's PS4 and PS5 or just PS4. Let me check.
Oh, well, that doesn't matter. But either way, I will be able to play.
Yeah, there's a PS5 version.
Or Steam is fine, too.
It's on, looks like everything. Yeah, it's on
good.
Xbox Series X, PS4, PS5, and Switch.
Good.
Boom.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
I also just got notified. I need to look into this. I got notified that something from Limited Run was shipping out to me. It's not an order number I'm familiar with. And in the email, it says item number, description, quantity, and they're all blank.
Huh. Maybe they just fucked up. Or maybe that's your shipping notice for the press kit?
No, because that was a different email. I got that.
Okay.
And I just got today from Limited Run my, Trip World DX. So what do I have on order from these guys? I mean, it's way too early for Rocket Knight, obviously.
Yeah.
It looks, according to this, the only thing that's unfulfilled is the Ninja Turtles vinyl. I wonder if that's it. It has a completely different order number, though, so...
Huh. I
don't know.
Maybe it's something that Drunk Kris ordered.
Maybe. This is weird.
Drunk Kris ordered Sober Kris a present.
Gimmick Special Edition for Switch. It says it was fulfilled, but also that it's in production?
Okay.
That makes sense. I got that thing, didn't I? I'm sure I got the physical version of Gimmick in the mail. I'm sure I did. I'm so angry that I missed that gambling pop. Dadgummit. I'm trying to save up money here. I was getting ready. I was thinking maybe I should start at 9:30 again because it's been going off early. And I was like, no, I'm going to wait till 9:40 this week. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to waste any extra couple of, 20, 30 cents on extra spins. But no, I didn't do it. I missed out on 46 times 2. I do it on 2 devices. I'm very sad. I'm trying to save up money. I'm trying to save up money because I want to take everyone. We want to go on vacation next year. Next year, we want to go down to Florida for the Super Nintendo World.
Oh, did you watch that trailer thing that they announced? They did they did a whole thing with all the worlds of the Super Nintendo World.
I saw that one. Yes, I saw that one.
Dragons, all of that.
Yep.
Can I, as someone who lived in Florida and went to the soft launch of Harry Potter and has been there for the big things and had family members, can I offer a piece of advice?
Please do.
Don't go next year. Go the year after. I know that seems crazy to wait like 2 years, but it is going to be a fucking disaster of people and shit and broken things. Because it always is. It always is.
Of course.
And that's fine.
I understand what you're saying. When I'm saying next year, I mean, I'm not going to be there when it opens. And it's really going to depend a lot on when it opens. Because we're not, if it's probably going to open in like peak season. We're not going like over the summer or anything like that. we're going to go whenever it's off season. The goal is next year, but if it's got to be like early 2026, then that's what it is. We're not planning on being there opening day or anything. We've got I hear you, and that is under advisement. That's definitely not the plan.
The amount of times that, because like it always felt super shitty. Like I always felt real bad about it, because we used to go legitimately. We would go to Disney World, just to watch the fireworks at the end of the night. Wouldn't go on any rides, wouldn't do anything else. Like, we would just go and watch the castle show, and there comes Tinkerbell, and it's fucking great, and it's magical, it's amazing. But we're sitting there, with our 1-year-old, 1.5-year-old children who don't fucking remember any of it. And me and Tiff are there, and we're just sitting there, and there are people around us that have saved their entire lives to do this one time. Like, this is it. This is the big, we spent $90,000 to fucking come down here. We're a fucking crazy number, And like, I always just felt real shitty about it, because there were times like when the Harry Potter thing first opened, we were there before it opened to the public. Like, we went to a soft launch event, and like half the shit was broken, and there were lines and waiting time. It was a fucking miserable experience. It was miserable. It sucked. And then we went about a year later, after it had been open for a while, and it was fucking incredible. The Harry Potter world at Islands of Adventure is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. It's still not the Spider-Man ride, which is the fucking coolest thing. I love that thing so goddamn much. But yeah, like it's just that first year is nuts. And I always felt so bad for the people that had spent all of their money to get this bummed out experience. And I was like, yeah, I'll just come back for free in a couple months. That sucks for you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I always felt shitty about it, but
yeah, like
because I'm now
kind of
not in that position. I don't go for free anymore. Yeah.
John is 10. If we wait 2 more years, he's probably going to be over Disney by then. So, like, we need to do it before he's over it. Like, we wanted to wait until Ellie was old enough to give a shit. So that's right where she is now. But we have this window of the next like year or 2 tops. So like we've kind of got to make this work sometime within the next year or 2, because we don't just want to go to Universal. We want to go and do Universal and Disney, and then
do the whole thing.
Call it a life. Yeah, do the whole thing.
I mean, I would disagree that John would be over it. He might not necessarily be as excited to see like the characters and stuff in person as like Ellie might be, but the entertainment that is there in the park, stuff like Pirates of the Caribbean, the Runaway Train, like that shit's fucking timeless. You know what I mean? There's so much there. Haunted Mansion, so much of what's there is just so cool, and it doesn't matter how old you are. Like, will he be super excited to go on It's a Small World? Probably not, because nobody fucking is. But will he have some amount of nostalgia, even though that's weird to say for like a 12-year-old? But will there be some of that built in for like, Peter Pan ride? Peter Pan ride's really fucking cool. I don't know.
I know that I went when I was 13. I went when I was 13, and it was fine. Like, my only good memories from that time were of Universal, and there was nothing at Disney that did anything for me when I went when I was 13.
You didn't like Pirates when you were 13?
I don't know that we went on Pirates.
Well, how do you... Space Mountain?
Was that even fucking open? Space Mountain was fine.
Space Mountain's great. How dare you?
Space Mountain was fine. Because, like, we used to go to Busch Gardens all the time. As a roller coaster, Space Mountain was fine, but it wasn't, like, anywhere near
it wasn't the big
as
bad
exciting
wolf
as
or the Loch Ness monster. Like, I get that.
Exactly. It wasn't. It was. It was weaker than all of the coasters at at Busch Gardens. So, like, yeah, that didn't really do much for me.
But as a point of fact, has John been to those roller coasters?
John does not like roller coasters.
Well, okay, so Space Mountain doesn't really do anything for him then.
Yeah.
But
all I'm saying is I hear what you're saying.
I do get it. I do.
But I can't, like, we're not going to wait another 3 years. It's just not going to happen. There's, at that point, we're spending money so that John can have a miserable time. Because
I get that.
I would rather him have some fun and have there be some things broken down than have him go and just be miserable because he's too old to give a shit about anything there.
Yeah,
so,
he's too cool to care. It's so funny that you're saying, like, John is going to be too old, because we watched that trailer that they put up where they showed all the new worlds and all of that stuff at Islands of Adventure and this new whatever the fuck they're calling it. And as soon as the How to Train Your Dragon thing came on, legitimately, both of my kids started crying. Because that was like their whole childhood was How to Train Your Dragon. They fucking love that property so much. And they saw that there was going to be a world, and they remember, because we took them when they were like 8 down to Disney, and we did the Islands of Adventure, and we did Disney World and all of that. So they kind of remember, like, what the Harry Potter world was like and what the Marvel world was like. And they started, like, just going off about the How to Train Your Dragon one and the Nintendo one as well. Katie was like, I went back and watched that trailer and I didn't see any of the hidden Pikmin in there, and they better be putting that fucking hidden Pikmin in this goddamn park like they didn't have. Like, she was going on the whole thing. But, like, Tiff and I then talked about it, and we were like, all right, well, we're going to then do that for their 18th birthday. So they're going to turn 15 this year. So for their 18th birthday, that is the next time we are going to go down. And they're going to be, like, it's funny that you say John is going to be too old. My kids will be turning 18, and we will be going there on purpose for that, because they will be excited as shit.
Right.
Can't wait.
I feel like once you rack back around to 18...
Then it's okay again?
Then it's okay again. See, like, the problem for me, and again, I think it might have just been when I went, but I know it was around when I was, like, 12 or 13, and there just wasn't all that much stuff to do. Like, we didn't even meet Mickey Mouse. Like, the only way to meet Mickey was to, like, pay and wait in some line or something. There just didn't seem to be much of anything to do, and it's my understanding now that that's changed a lot. But, like, I remember when we went there, the focus was supposed to be on Disney, and then we went to Universal one day, and that was like the fucking Muppets thing, the King Kong ride, like
Jaws,
that
Back
was
to the Future,
awesome.
Yeah.
Like the Back to the Future, I hadn't even seen the Back to the Future movies, and I loved that ride. That ride was so fucking cool. So
it's really good now, even though it's The Simpsons. It's still really good.
I imagine that, like, I think that this next year or so is the time that we are going to be able to do that and get the most out of it.
Yeah.
So
that's fair.
Fingers crossed. This will be their third opening of Nintendo World. So, they have that going for them. They've done it twice now, so I feel like a lot of the kinks have been worked out, and if I wait a decent amount of time, we'll get there. But I don't think waiting another couple of years is the right move. Like, the goal is to try to get this done in the next year and a half. And find off period.
Yeah.
Gotta go off
November.
Yeah.
Historically, November has been the time to go, like, the week before Thanksgiving, because you get a lot of people that usually come in for, like, the Thanksgiving parades, and they start to make the holiday out of it. But I always found, like, the last week of October to, like, the first 2 weeks in November, for the 6 years that I lived down there anyway and was going to the park frequently, to all of them, you would go at that time, and it'd be like a 5-minute wait for a ride. Even the most popular, biggest, flashiest thing, like, we would go and be able to get on the Hogwarts Castle thing, Journey into Mystery, I think it's called, which might not be what it's called at all, but the big Harry Potter thing.
That sounds like Thor.
Yeah, yeah. Well, maybe that's what it is. But the big Harry Potter ride that's super fucking cool and is just this amazing experience. The first time we went, we stood in line for 4.5 hours to get on it. And then we went back like 6 months later in November and went on it like 5 times in one day, you know, because it's legitimately that good, but also there was nobody there.
Yeah, for my friend is there now. I'm curious what she's going to have to say when she gets back. I have a lot of questions for her when she returns. Like, what's it like in February? Because I also can't imagine it's like super busy in February.
It was pretty cool in February.
Any time
from what I remember,
where kids are supposed to be in school, I feel like is at least a step in the right direction.
It is. It is. You want to pull your kids out of school for a week and take them down there and do the thing. It's
absolutely.
It's fucking like it's hard for me. And Tiff and I were just talking about this because we just watched or we just bought. I posted it to the vinyl Discord. Tiff bought her first vinyl, and it was the Disney 100 alternative track listing that they sold at Walmart or whatever, and it had you know, her favorite Hercules song on it, and it had Cruella de Vil from 101 Dalmatians, and all these great songs. And it remains very, very difficult for me personally to be as into it as I want to be, or should be is the wrong word, but because it's so closely associated with my mother. She was the Disney person and just obsessed, and like bought a rental house in Florida so that they could rent it out to other people, and like all of these, like a lot of what has led to the lack of relationship that I have with that side of my family now goes back to my mother's pig-headed obsession with going down to Disney and working for them. You know, and when we took the girls down there, even though we were having this amazing time and, you know, we're getting the kids a Dole Whip and we're doing the fucking Jungle Cruise and everybody's having a blast, every time we went into a store, I was looking to see if Debbie was there. Because it's like, fuck, you know, like, what do we do if Tiff and I, who still look like Tiff and I, like my mom had not seen the girls at that point, but like if we walk into a store and Debbie's over there and she sees us, like what the fuck do we do? So even that part of it was like tainted. But all of that is to say, it's a fucking magical place and I love being there. Like I really honestly do, even as a 40-something-year-old man, like just the idea of like, yeah, I could fucking go to Disney. That'd be fucking great. I'll get a Dole Whip, go to the Enchanted Tiki Room, watch the fucking show. It'll be amazing. I can't wait. I want to do it again. You know? It's weird.
I would very much like to go and have a good time. And we haven't been on a family vacation ever. So
that's the last one we took was down there. You know? And we got, like, having the kids get on the Jurassic Park ride, which is an old school log flume. And that was, like, their favorite thing that we did while we were there. And Katie, who doesn't like heights and roller coasters and all of these things, can we go on again? Can we go on again? That was so cool. That was so much fun. Yeah, let's look at the picture that they took of us all going, as you fucking coming down the thing. It was great.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
I'm excited. They're rebranding the fucking Thunder Mountain, or not Thunder Mountain, Splash Mountain. They're taking away Brer Fox and Brer Rabbit and all that whole honestly racist where it comes from story, and they're rebranding that all as Princess and the Frog, which I'm super excited to see. That movie's fucking dope.
Did they not do that already? I thought that was.
I don't think it's open yet. I think they closed it to the pandemic kind of slowed some of that shit down. I think they closed it a little while ago to revamp it, you know, and add the new animatronics and all the lighting and all the stuff that is going to go into it. I am going to miss Brer Fox and Brer Bear, Brer Rabbit. Love them. Anyway.
Well, they had a good run.
They did. They had a good, kind of racist run. It's Dean's favorite ride. I know, we've talked about that. He's a big fan.
Boy, I don't even remember what we were talking about before that.
I don't know.
Let's see. I've been slowly chipping away at the Vampire Survivor story mode stuff, which is great. I tried the Mario vs. Donkey Kong demo. It is, in fact, Mario vs. Donkey Kong.
It is 100% as advertised?
It is that game, except prettier.
That's good.
Neat. Yeah, I'm into that. But the most interesting thing I've been playing is Metal Gear 2.
Okay, the MSX one, right?
Yeah, I have some very mixed feelings about that game.
Mm-hmm.
It's taken a lot of the wind out of Metal Gear Solid for me.
Okay.
Because Metal Gear Solid...
is Metal Gear 2.
It's Metal Gear 2. All those really cool and interesting things, he did them already. He just did the same thing twice, the fucking hack. He didn't come up with anything new for that. The memory card reading. But like the back of the box was in fucking Metal Gear 2. The climbing up the metal staircase, run away from all the guards is fucking Metal Gear 2. It's the same exact plot beats. He just made Metal Gear 2 again on PlayStation.
But better?
How fucking dare he? Well, but better, sure. And it's been a long time since I've played it, and I'm really, really looking forward to playing that again. I really am, especially after playing this and kind of getting those little bits of story beats about Gray Fox that I didn't have before. And this is a very entertaining game. It's interesting how much farther along the technological leap from the first one to the second one, as far as like, what the guards notice and what they don't.
It's huge.
How like they'll turn their heads and see you from side to side. They'll hear things. It still has some obnoxious things. I think I've figured out the save point system. It seems to be centered around elevators. Mm-hmm. So if you go into an elevator, when you save, wherever you are, it'll bring you back to the last time you used an elevator. Which seems like an odd thing to center your saving system on. But whatever. It is an interesting game so far. I am very much enjoying it. And I'm very much looking forward to making it onto Metal Gear Solid. I think I'm 3/4 of the way through Metal Gear 2 now. I am following a walkthrough because who has that kind of time? It is still pretty obtuse design-wise, similar to the original Metal Gear. It's just like, if I wasn't using a walkthrough, I would just be wandering for days. Just be figuring out, okay, now where to? Because nothing's telling me. Go back to this building. None of them are labeled. Do you know what this building is? Because if you don't, figure it out. So I'm really happy to be using this walkthrough that's making it a lot easier to figure out, but it's no less fun. I just used the hang glider, which fit in my pocket somehow. I did the thing with the bucket. That was real interesting. Because I did the cardboard box. I get it, all right. Fits inside a cardboard box. But then when I put on the bucket, I was like, what's he going to do with the bucket? And then I equipped the bucket, and I was just a bucket. Like, but whoa, wait a second. Snake doesn't fit in that bucket.
No.
I know this is an MSX2 game, but we've been adhering to a certain degree of realism this entire time. And
a certain degree.
Unless that bucket's a fucking TARDIS, he's not fitting in there. And then I start walking, and he's walking with the bucket, and I'm like, oh, nope. You've gone round the bend, game. You've gone round the bend. Oh. The bosses are a fucking joke too. That's a big disappointment, similar to the first Metal Gear. Like, because Solid has some really fun, interesting boss battles, and this is just like every single boss is a complete fucking joke. The guys in the elevator whose secret special ability is that they can jump really slowly. What the fuck was that? Like, check us out. There's 4 of us, and we can jump. And like, but the bottom one never moved. I thought the game was fucking busted, right? So I'm playing the game, and my strategy was to just kind of stay toward the bottom corner and then pick them off whenever they moved, which was working out great. And then there was a guy at the bottom. There was a 4th one that didn't move for the entire fight, and I'm like, well, now what do I do? I can't get him to move. I'm like punching at him, I'm shooting at him. So I eventually go to leave the elevator, and once I got halfway across the room, he finally started moving. So when you get into the elevator, they tell you that their whole thing is they're masters of close quarters combat, but they refuse to go anywhere near you.
Well, because they want to give you a chance. That's very kind of them if you think about it.
I guess that is certainly one way of looking at things. Ew, there's all kinds of shit floating around in my water. Damn it, I'm thirsty, and I don't want to drink that water because it's got stuff floating around. Nonsense, I say.
The nice thing about Metal Gear Solid is that you played Solid first, right? So Solid itself was not... You didn't have that experience going into it, right?
Yeah, my experience was Metal Gear NES, maybe a few minutes of Snake's Revenge, and then Solid.
So you got to appreciate Solid for what it is.
Fucking awesome. What a callback to that random dude I saved in the beginning of Metal Gear. That was awesome.
No. It was a whole thing. Yeah. No, yeah. It's awesome.
It is awesome. And I was trying to explain this to...
I love Kojima.
I was explaining this to Karen when I was playing it. She's like, I have a lot of questions about this game. It's like, this is an interesting experience because I'm the only one in this collection of the 3 remaining ones past this I haven't finished is 3. Because 3 was 2 was where we started to tell just how far Kojima was up his own ass. And 3 took things considerably farther. So, and I haven't played past 3. I don't imagine I'm ever going to, but who the hell knows, right? Maybe I will wind up having to play them for review. Because that's what I'm doing here. Now I'm going to be blowing through. Like, that's this is my primary objective for the next couple of weeks at least. I need to get through the rest of these games. I don't need to get through all the games to review them.
Right.
This is my excuse to do it, so that's what I'm going to do. Now, I've never finished 3, so I'm going to make myself do that, and I'm sure it's going to be a hell of an experience.
I fucking love that game. I'm so excited for that remake. Even though I know Kojima has nothing to do with it, I'm really excited to see where they go with it.
I'm very curious to see how that works out for them. I am also very curious to see what happens with the eventual Metal Gear Collection 2, because looking at this one, right? And so we've got on this one Metal Gear, Snake's Revenge for NES, Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 for MSX. Those were our bonus content games, right?
Right.
So what's the bonus content games for the next one? I have to imagine
games, like Acid,
Metal Gear Acid 1 and 2, because the other PSP games are like they're like part of it, they're real
Peace
parts
Walker
of the story.
Exactly.
Like, do we get Revengeance? Is that something that doesn't seem like weird bonus content side stories, right? Because we also got the digital graphic novels are already in here. So like,
right.
No, I'm thinking like Metal Gear Solid 2, the Game Boy Color game, Acid 1 and 2. Like, what else could there
that's what I'm thinking.
Be?
Yeah. Because that's Metal Gear Gaiden. That's what the Game Boy Color one is. Is that what it's called?
I don't know what it's called in Japan. In North America, it's just called Metal Gear Solid. In Europe, I think it's called Metal Gear Ghost Babel.
Oh, okay. The hell am I thinking? Oh, I'm thinking of Resident Evil Gaiden, right?
Resident Evil Gaiden was the Game Boy Color game, yeah.
Okay.
Metal Gear... Oh, it was released in Japan as Ghost Babel, and Metal Gear Solid in North America, and I think it was also Ghost Babel in the UK. I would really like to play that one on a TV. I have not touched that game in a long time, but what an incredibly ambitious game that was. I couldn't believe that when it came out. I was so thrilled. I bought that the day it came out, and I played like an hour or two of it and was like, This is fucking wild.
This is nuts.
Companies really did some crazy shit on those Game Boy consoles.
They really did.
Think back to that Tony Hawk 2 on Game Boy Advance. Like, you fucking Looney Tunes, man. You're out of your minds. You made this shit work. Guitar Hero for DS. Like, what's wrong with you? Why are you this clever?
Does it work?
Why does it work? Why is it so goddamn good?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. All right, it's time to move on to week-old news. Week-old news. First up in week-old news, I would like to finish this off with you giving me a little wind-up on State of Play, since we didn't get to talk about that last week. That's all right.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah.
So let's go down.
Look up what the hell they showed so I can remember.
My first story comes to us via Go Nintendo. Sega says Sonic Superstar sales were sluggish. Sonic sales down year on year. I can't say that I'm terribly surprised since you released your new 2D Sonic game against Super Mario Brothers.
Against the new Mario? Yeah.
It seemed like a really silly idea, but good, by all means, you do you. Let's see. Superstars, which met with, quote, sluggish sales during the holiday season. It's a year-over-year downward trend for the Sonic franchise, which sold 6.75 units during the same quarter in 2023 versus 5.05 million this fiscal quarter. So, a little downward trend for Sonic there, which, again, not terribly surprising considering you've annualized the Sonic franchise and then you went up against a new Mario game.
Not the best plan.
Really appreciate them making Sonic games something a little bit more special. Something to look forward to that's a little bit less common. I understand money. You got to get that cash. You got to get that money in the bank. But
sure,
I think it would behoove Sega to try and. It's reminding me of the Pokemon problem, like
that. There's just so much of it.
Do fewer games, but do them better. Which is what Nintendo does with Mario. They don't make Mario games every year. And then Super Mario Bros. Wonder comes out and has crazy good sales and is an incredibly polished game. And, well, look at that. That all worked out really well. Do that with Sonic. There is no reason that brand, that franchise can't be as revered as the Mario franchise. You just got to put in the time. You've got the core. You got the makings, my friends. Just take the time to make sure it's all right. Just be better.
Just be better.
Next up from... actually, there was something else that was similar to that. Sega was warning about... I'll see if I can find that. I meant to write that one down, and I thought that Sonic article was going to have something related to it in there, but it didn't. But there was a headline about Sega warning about... That was the Sonic Superstars article. Where's this other one? So only take me a moment. It should be toward the top of my feed. Here, sir or madam.
Depending.
Nope. I can't find it. Doesn't matter.
Nope.
Sega's not doing financially spectacular is really what the headline boiled down to. They worded it in a really weird way that was like, this is a strange thing to say. I don't know how I feel about that. Okay, Sega issues financial warning after sluggish sales of Sonic Superstars, Endless Dungeon, and Total War Pharaoh. Sega has issued... This is coming from IGN. Sega has issued a financial warning after what it's called... What does that mean, a financial warning? Reporting its financial performance for the 9-month period ending December 2023, Sega said it has revised its sales and profit forecast down, mainly due to weak sales of new games released during the third quarter of the financial year. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm super excited about all that new shit they got coming out.
Yes,
so,
indeed,
it's the most excited I've been about Sega in decades.
It's all theoretically in development for whatever the next Switch is, so more fuel to that fire. But anyway, moving on, another story from IGN here. We have Atari is making a celebrity game show focused on its own brand.
Okay.
Yeah, I love Atari.
I love game shows.
I love game shows. I don't know what they're doing here, but you know what? I hope it's fun. I hope it turns out into... let's see. The quote from the article says, "We're beyond excited to partner with Atari to bring you the ultimate celebrity game show with all the drama, comedy, and nostalgia that comes with it." Bloomfield said in the press release, "This show celebrates the history of gaming, the culture of entertainment, and the joy of competing like we're kids. It's one the whole family won't want to miss." I don't know what that means.
No, I don't either. We watch a lot of the British panel shows, like the celebrity quizzes and Taskmaster and all of those different things. Tiff is just obsessed with them, which I don't blame her. They're really fucking cool. But the idea of doing one of those, like, for Atari sounds pretty neat.
Yeah, I mean, I remember watching a few episodes of that Frogger show that came out, which was basically an obstacle course show, loosely based on the game Frogger.
I kind of remember that.
Yeah, it's a thing that happened.
Kind of. Yeah,
weird.
That's a weird thing. Yeah, all right.
Anyway, moving on. This article comes to us via Push Square. Microsoft's recent layoffs contradict Activision Blizzard buyout pledges, says FTC. So, surprising, people.
Literally no one.
There was 1,900 Activision Blizzard layoffs, which we talked about on the show, and apparently that is... Microsoft lawyers responded to yesterday's letter from the FTC. Recent job cuts at Activision Blizzard saying Activision was ready, blah, 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 blah. All right, let's see. Microsoft made an industry-shaking... Yeah, we all know about that. The aforementioned layoffs have affected teams within Activision Blizzard and Bethesda, as well as Microsoft. About 1,900 employees made redundant. Microsoft stated that these cuts were being made to address areas of overlap. Since the complaint was filed, blah, 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 blah. The FTC... Let's see. It argues that the action from Microsoft, quote, undermines the FTC's ability to order effective relief should the pending administrative proceeding result in a determination that Microsoft's acquisition of Activision violated Section 7 of the Clayton Act. In other words, if the acquisition is deemed illegal, which is still possible as the FTC is appealing against it, the layoffs prevent the FTC from helping those affected. This all sounds horrible.
Yeah, I mean, are we surprised that this gigantic merger led to people losing their jobs?
I mean, apparently we are. Or apparently the FTC is.
I feel like we shouldn't be.
That's
I
true.
could have told you. You didn't ask me. Well, I think that kind of leads into, though, this idea of Microsoft going multi-platform, which has been making the rounds this week and whatever. Of course, they have to at this point, right? I think we talked about it, I think one of the shows in December, where Games Pass is losing them billions of dollars.
Yeah, a lot of this is stemming from, I actually have a Kotaku article. There was a GameStop ad that there was promoting a demo day when folks can come in and play some games on Xbox consoles using, quote, Microsoft Game Pass. Not Xbox Game Pass, Microsoft Game Pass, which is is adding fuel to the fire that was already there from some reports of like Indiana Jones and Starfield coming to PlayStation 5, which is a whole interesting thing. Games Pass. What was it they said that Games Pass was like? It was basically stagnating. It was like, all right, we've got all these users, but now we haven't achieved infinite growth, which is a fucking myth. Like, yay capitalism! You're never going to continue to add infinite growth forever. Like, that's just not the way money works.
Right.
But the thing that I thought was interesting, at least from my perspective, what Games Pass cuts out, what Games Pass kind of makes non-existent for Xbox, and this came up a few weeks ago when we were talking about how what was the limited run games said something about the fact that a handful of people were jumping on Twitter asking for an Xbox version. Why do you guys hate Xbox so much? Like, we don't hate Xbox. Nobody buys physical Xbox games. Like, it is a tiny percentage because nobody buys physical Xbox games, and I think that has everything to do with... Because that's what they've
conditioned their audience to do.
Exactly. It's all about Games Pass. And so why bother buying the physical one where I'm going to be able to play the game for free through Games Pass? But Microsoft is missing, so the games that they make, they don't get those sales numbers, They don't get on the charts or anything like that because nobody on Xbox is buying those things. But if they put those things on other platforms where Games Pass isn't the de facto way to play games, all of a sudden they can keep the Game Pass, it's Game Pass, not Games Pass. They can keep the Game Pass going on Xbox, but they can also start seeing the actual sales of their games, not even just physically, like just the games themselves, even the digital copies. They will be able to sell them on a game-by-game basis on those other platforms considerably better. You put, let's say Starfield came out on PlayStation 5, but it wasn't part of PlayStation Plus. It was just, all right, but you have to buy this game. That's probably going to sell for PS5 infinitely better than it did on Xbox Series already. Like, its lifetime sales will probably be blown out in no time just by putting it on PlayStation 5. And that's partially because there are... by pure numbers, there are so many more PS5s out there. Even if it sells the same percentage on PS5, it's still going to blow out what they did on Xbox numbers because of how many more PS5s there are. It's just it's casting such a wider net just by virtue of the numbers. It would almost have to do better that way on an individual sales basis. Now, Starfield
if people care.
Exactly. Starfield is a strange example because...
It is.
Who knows? That game did not turn out to be what everyone wanted, but...
No, and I think it is. I think it is
example.
now. I think they've patched it, and it's much more what people thought it was going to be. And I brought this up in the Discord the other day, and then the Discord did what the Discord does, and it goes in a million different directions. But I kind of stand by it in the idea that I don't know how many, if Microsoft does not bring Game Pass to Switch and to PlayStation, I don't know how much more they're going to see. Will they see some amount of sales? Of course, absolutely they will. Just the novelty of having Halo on the PlayStation will get people to buy it. And things like Call of Duty, that was already going to be multi-platform. That was part of the agreed upon deal to purchase Activision, was that Call of Duty would be multi-platform. But if I wanted to, as the PlayStation guy, if I wanted to play Halo and Gears of War and Bethesda games, I would have already bought an Xbox. You know what I'm saying?
Would you have, though?
Yeah, if those were the games I wanted... If those are some of the games you want to play, sure. But I'm pretty sure the majority of gamers out there in the world aren't in a position to drop $1,000 to have both platforms. Because more people have made the decision well, I like those games, but I also want to play God of War and Spider-Man more. And PlayStation has more games that I want, so that's the platform I'm going to go to. And sure, it sucks that I'm not going to be able to play these Xbox exclusive games, but there's only a few of those as opposed to the more that are on PlayStation. So I think most people have made the decision to pick one of the platforms because they're so goddamn expensive, and just
not everybody has the
fair.
disposable income to throw at multiple consoles. So
That
somebody,
is fair.
I mean, yeah, the assumption that everybody is going to say, like, well, you know, fuck Spider-Man, I want to play whatever the next Bethesda game is. Like, I think a lot of people looked at the value proposition and said, I understand that the system might be the ugliest thing that's ever been created on the planet Earth, and it's the size of a small
Spider-Man.
boat, but it plays more games that I want, so I'm going to go with that one. I think, you know, Microsoft's output right now isn't amazing, but at the same time, like, within the next couple of years, you're going to start seeing all those studios that they purchased start to make things that people are going to want on their other platforms. And
I have said multiple times on this show, I think exclusivity is fucking stupid. I sell your game everywhere, like have it be console exclusive for a year, but at this point we should be talking about the PlayStation and Xbox ports of Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. And we should be talking about the Switch port of or the Switch 2 port, I guess would be a better thing. But the Switch 2 port of God of War and Halo. For me personally, I hate that fucking exclusivity gatekeeping shit. I don't care for it. I just don't know the place that there were numbers that came out today. And I hope it's great. But don't get me wrong. I do not want Microsoft to go away at all. I want them to be a console manufacturer. More competition is always good. The consolidation of things leads to layoffs. It leads to crappier shit. I don't want it to happen even a little bit. Just looking at it from a PlayStation gamer looking at what the Xbox has, I would purchase the monthly subscription for Game Pass. But that's it, you know, like for me, and I know I am not representative of everybody, but I know I'm also not alone in that. There's just nothing I need, or else I would have gone that way. Yeah, the platform, they're so intrinsically different at this point. You know, I think it's not like a hot take to say that Xbox gamers and PlayStation gamers are pretty different as far as what the main thing they play is, right? Just by virtue of what the exclusives are. So I don't know. I don't know how much.
But the machines themselves aren't. Like, the machines themselves are not different at all. See, this is where I see this is where I don't necessarily agree on the Nintendo aspect of it, because their hardware is so different from PlayStation, Microsoft. Their basic formula is so different from what everyone else is doing.
Sure.
So their whole thing is, we want you to be a part of our ecosystem, and our ecosystem is the only place where you can play our games. They start, if they just stop that entirely and say, like, never mind, our games are on everything, why on earth would anyone buy that specific platform then, you know? They're cutting into their own thing. Microsoft and Sony don't really have that relationship anymore, because Microsoft has expanded so far beyond here's a handful of our studios that make these exclusive games for our platform. Now they've jumped out into grabbing the biggest names out there between fucking Bethesda and Activision. It's like, now we're running into situations where it would be obscene for them to not put their games on other platforms. And Microsoft clearly doesn't care, because they still make the money. Like, they look at their situation and say, well, we don't necessarily care if you play these games on Xbox or somewhere else, because we're not really trying to. Our ecosystem is multi-platform. Our ecosystem can run on anything. Whereas Nintendo's ecosystem is tied to, like, use Joy-Cons to do this thing, you know, like their whole thing is tied to, like, their thing. Whereas PlayStation and Xbox are around, these are the tenets of video games, and there will never be too many deviations from this core PlayStation controller, you know, like, this is what we have, and we're not going to deviate from this. And whereas
this
Nintendo's
is the
just
form
like,
factor. These are the buttons.
and
This is what
Nintendo's
we
just
do.
like, yeah, well, you know what? We're fucking crazy. So there's a 50-50 chance it's going to be a Wii U and a 50-50 chance it'll be a Switch. We'll see what happens. But this is
one
where
you
you're playing
control
Mario.
with your balls. Yeah,
This is where
very
you're playing
odd.
Mario.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't necessarily see Microsoft going third party the way Sega did. Like, I
Right.
don't see them giving up on their own unique hardware, because especially if they lose the disk drive and keep doing what they're doing, like, it
Why
seems
bother?
like their hardware refreshes are just going to be like, it's like selling Apple TVs or Fire Sticks. You know, it's like, this is your Xbox machine. This will run your Game Pass stuff and just, you know, plug and play onto your TV. If this is all you want to do, then this is what you can do. Well, you do your Netflix and all that stuff. And if you want to do other things, you want to get Game Pass or whatever on your PlayStation 5, ta-da. But I think that if they wanted, they keep Game Pass to their platform and use that to sell their hardware and then get the games to sell on other platforms. Because I feel like game sales is what they're missing, right? Because they have Game Pass, and that's neat, and it was making them a ton of money. But what's missing from keeping them the whole situation sustainable is actual game sales. And putting Game Pass elsewhere will then cannibalize those game sales on those other platforms. But if they avoid Game Pass there and make the games that people actually want that they make on those other platforms, you've got something. But that's just my theory.
I want that Indiana Jones game. I'll be real excited if that comes to PlayStation. You know, I definitely want to play that game. Not enough to buy an Xbox, though.
No.
Although I would for that. I would for that Kojima game. Whatever the fuck that's going to be.
Exactly where I am. I
play that.
Looked at the next generation of games and I thought, I'd like to play them, but I don't want to throw $500 goddamn dollars to do so.
Yeah, I get that. In
There's
this
just not
economy,
enough, but
Chris?
In this economy?
Come on.
All right, Polygon. The headline here on Polygon is that the Disney Epic team-up is the first metaverse deal that actually matters. I had no idea this had anything to do with fucking metaverse.
Doesn't everything?
Disney bought a bunch of shares in Epic, and they're making some sort of Fortnite-flavored Disney Worlds crossover thing that I think just looks terrible. It just smells
to be
of product
fair,
to me.
It is not for you.
It is 100 trillion% not for me. So that's why I'm allowed to say I think it looks terrible. It just looks so unbelievably soulless to me. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think the novelty of the crossovers of the worlds of Disney is what it used to be, because Disney Infinity existed and Kingdom Hearts exists. Like, this whole Disneyverse thing is not the it's not the draw that it once was. And every time they do something like this, it just smells a little bit cheaper. And I could be wrong.
That people are if the friends of my children are any indication, they are super big into all of one of the girls had somebody over, and I think we were watching Ahsoka, or we were talking about Ahsoka when the show was on, and the child, who will remain nameless because that's not fair. I don't want to embarrass the poor kid. But the child said, "Oh, it's that character from Fortnite. She got her own show. That's cool." And I twitched. You know, I was like, "No. It's not from Fortnite. She's in Fortnite, but not from, you know, but it is having an impact, because that kid knew who Ahsoka was and thought Ahsoka was super cool and was like really into it and was like, "Oh, that's so fucking awesome. There's a show," and blah. So I don't know. Does it look soulless? I mean, I guess I don't know. I don't think it looks like anything yet.
Yeah.
You know,
it smells very. It smells like it could very much be something horribly predatory like Roblox, but I don't know. It's not for me. It's not going to be in this house. So, whatever. I don't know. I looked at this announcement and it just kind of made me twitch. I don't care for Fortnite.
I get that.
And I didn't know it had something to do with Metaverse, which is like, what the hell? It's a virtual space where you can do a variety of activities where users are usually embodied in avatars. What concerns me is that this smells kind of like the NFT stuff. It smells like one of these things. It's like, we've made this technology. It doesn't actually do anything of value, but we're going to keep saying it does as vaguely as possible until we make a lot of money off of it.
Right.
And it just makes me uncomfortable. I could be very wrong. I frequently am. But it's one of those things that I look at and say... I think you might be
on this one.
I don't think it's for me.
I don't think you're wrong about that part. I just don't think it's going to be... Because I think the comparison to Roblox is somewhat fair. Fortnite is a platform now. It is not just a game. And the Lego thing has not been predatory and all of that. And by all accounts, it's been going very well. And people seem to really like it. And whatever Harmonix is doing instead of Rock Band or whatever they're doing within Fortnite. I forget what it's got a name. I don't remember what the name is, but... Fortnite on stage or some shit. I don't fucking know. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but
yeah. It's very different. Fortnite is a very different animal than what it was a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. I certainly do not love the douchey nozzle bro culture that is so associated with it, but that's also not necessarily what it is anymore. You know, a couple of fucking D-bag YouTubers. Guy bro, shut up. You know, like it's... But again, it's not for us. And I think Disney ultimately ended up purchasing like less than 5% of Epic with their $1 billion. Like it was still no percentage whatsoever.
Yeah, it was still nothing compared to the bajillions of dollars they have. So
yeah.
Anyway, trucking on to other horrible things. Microsoft's Xbox layoffs hit Crash Bandicoot and Spyro developer Toys for Bob. This poor company.
Yeah.
I've been hearing so many bad things about this company for so long. Because, like, they made the Crash and Sane trilogy, and I'm not a fan, but there's no denying that game made a bajillion dollars. That sold so obscenely well. And was well done, and then sold so well again when it launched on Switch. Like, it sold just obscene numbers for PlayStation.
Yeah.
And then they did it again on Switch, and it sold insanely again. And then they did Crash 4, which reviewed extremely well. And then they were like, never mind, you guys work on Call of Duty now because we need more teams on Call of Duty, and I'm sure you'll be able to do something fun with your lives someday. And now they're hit by a ton of fucking layoffs, and it's just fucking gross.
It's gross. It's just gross. It sucks. Yeah. Yeah.
Meanwhile...
Fuck those guys.
Go Nintendo reports that Switch has become Japan's best-selling game hardware ever, which I didn't realize was a thing.
That's wild.
I didn't realize that it's outsold everything else in Japan, which is fucking nuts, including the PS2. That's wild. I didn't realize that's how it was in Japan anywhere near that close. Because, you know, worldwide, they're still a ways behind PS2.
Right.
Switch had to surpass Game Boy Color, which sold 32,470,000 units, and the DS, which reached 32,990,000 units. Thanks to their most recent fiscal report, we now know the Switch has done that with ease. So, it's on pace to theoretically, like, if they do a price drop whenever their next system comes out, I don't think it'll be any question whether or not it'll be able to make it to that top spot.
Yeah,
but knowing Nintendo, they probably won't.
They'll raise the price.
Yeah,
like, no, this is now a vintage system. You got to pay more.
Yeah, this is going to be more expensive than Switch 2. Fucking weirdos. If they make a budget version of the Switch that they can continue to sell, like if the new system is backwards compatible and they can continue to sell the original recipe Switch, if they can pull off that.
I mean, can you imagine if this new system is not backwards compatible?
I absolutely can.
I
don't think it's so stupid that there's no other company on earth that would look at it and say,
would do it.
Yeah, but you better fucking believe Nintendo could look at that situation and say, this is going to make people angry. Let's need to do it.
Do it.
I have a reason why, and it's going to be some fucking ridiculous reason that makes no sense to anyone, but then it'll be some sort of like anti-piracy thing.
Yeah.
And it'll just make everyone sad.
They have really, with the Switch, really established themselves as the leader again. I mean, it cannot be understated how much of a disaster the Wii U was. A fucking unmitigated disaster. And the Wii didn't help Nintendo be viewed as the place, rightly or wrongly, and I'm not saying I agree with it, but I think there was certainly the perception around the interwebs and within the industry, as far as like articles and reviews and those sorts of things at the time, that the Wii was not a system for serious gamers. It was the old folks' home so that they could play Wii bowling. You know, there was Nintendo, their image, their profile took a big hit, and the Switch has erased all of that. All of that is gone.
Because you're 100% right. The Wii became such a toxic brand because of the way it was marketed. I maintain that if you couldn't find games to play on the Wii back when it was out, then you just weren't looking, because those games came out, but they didn't sell nearly as much as anyone thought they should, because the install base for the Wii was fucking insane.
Yeah.
But so, like, a huge percentage of that were people who were never ever going to buy those other games. It was the old folks' homes. It was just people who wanted to buy it.
My mother-in-law had one.
Wii Sports and New Super Mario Brothers and Mario Kart. Like,
my mother-in-law
that played those.
Who asks me constantly, well, she doesn't talk to me because she's scared of me, but who asks Tiff constantly when Batman is going to show up in the Avengers movies, had a Wii. She is not a gamer. That is not a fuck. They weren't getting her for anything else other than Wii Sports. But they did get her.
The people bought that system to do that thing, and some of them bought the other games, right? Because there was like 5 or 6 games that sold just obscene amounts of copies on Wii. But all in all, that
sold
system
incredibly well, and
Wii
but
Fit,
it's a
Wii
joke.
Play was basically just buying another controller. But yeah, it was a
really
meme. Unhealthy. It was a crazy unhealthy ecosystem. They made some really great games for it, and nobody bought them because that just wasn't what that system was doing. And it wasn't marketed to do it, and it was during a time when trying to sell a platform to people to take seriously that doesn't even have an HDMI output was just a ridiculous
not being serious.
idea.
Yeah,
You're
just not being serious.
Yeah,
but the Switch
then that leading into the Wii U,
all of that.
Absolutely, it did. It was
crazy.
It is a return to Nintendo firing on all cylinders, and it's their healthiest platform since, or at least home platform since the Super Nintendo, and arguably their handhelds as well. But even then, I would say that it's hardware and games that are selling on the system, and people are playing them, and that's something that Nintendo hasn't had in a very long time.
Man, if they
to come out with a new system, it's not going to be easy. Even if they do make it backwards compatible, they've got an uphill battle to fight.
It's just got to be a more powerful system. That's it. That's all they have to do. They have to do the PlayStation and Microsoft thing. It just has to be better.
It doesn't just have to be better. It has to be better, and then the fact that it's better needs to be obvious to people. Because, the Wii U was technically just a better Wii, and nobody understood. Because it was a terrible name and terrible branding. But it was also a gimmick. That controller was a gimmick. Like if the Switch 2 is the jump the same as the PS4 to the PS5, and whether we talk about it all the time of like, should graphics be the thing that sell the system? No, they probably shouldn't be, but they also are. Like this, it's just got to be that. Don't give me some new fakakta controller that I got to do shit with. Like, oh, this one tracks your iris movement. Like, don't fucking do any of that shit. Just make it more, and you'll be all right. As long as they can convey that message, I agree. But being able to convey that message is going to be a huge deal. If they call it, like, the Switch Deluxe, nobody's going to know that it's a new system. They're like, well, I already have a Switch, so I don't need to buy that. Because that was
Switch 2.
That was the Wii U's biggest problem. It wasn't the gamepad that anyone was trying to wrap their head around. That concept was easy. It was the fact that people would look at the gamepad and say, well, how does that work with my Wii? Like, no, it's a new system. What do you mean? The Wii U is the gamepad, right? It attaches to my Wii? No.
Yeah.
Because they did a terrible job of conveying that. So if whatever the Switch 2 is, it has some sort of dumbass name like New Switch or Switch
the
Deluxe,
new Switch U,
Switch Plus. Like, if they have some sort of vague-ass name...
The Switch about, or the Nintendo about face.
Yeah. The Nintendo Swatch. Nintendo Swoosh.
The Nintendo change of direction.
The Nintendo Flush.
Just go through a thesaurus of fucking synonyms for Switch. Just find the most absurd one. And that is what they will go with, and then put U at the end of it.
Oh. It'll make me so sad.
I really don't want them to fuck it up. I really don't want them to. I
don't want them to
remain.
Either. I just want Switch 2. I just want to be able to, everything that I have to just carry over and then have it be stronger so that...
Yeah, that's all it should be. That is all it should
needs be. Don't need to reinvent
Show me
the
prettier
wheel.
graphics. Show me a game that couldn't be ported to Switch, now being ported to Switch. I don't know what that game is, but... show me the thing.
Show me Minecraft running stable. Well, you can't even show that. You can't even show that to me on an Xbox Series X. Yeah.
But show me Starfield, a game that is graphically impressive, whether it sells well. Fuck all that. Show me a game that level of graphical immersion and detail running on the Switch 2, and that's all you need to do.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Talk to me about State of Play, and make it snappy.
Okay. I'll fucking take as long as I want, which is not very long on this. Sega showed off Sonic Cross Shadow Generations. There's Shadow stuff coming to the Generations game. Katie was really, really excited about it. And it makes sense with the movie coming out in December, I think. It's when Sonic 3 comes out. Am I wrong?
So.
Do you know?
It's the end.
I think it's
end
December.
Of this year. Either November or December. I don't know.
Yeah, and there was the big spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen Sonic 2. There was a big post-credit scene with Shadow, and there's the Knuckles TV show that's coming out. All of that stuff with Sonic is great. They're doing good work there, but the games, whatever. They then showed off a bunch of stuff for Stellar Blade, which this game just looks fucking absurd. I'm actually way more excited about it now than I was. It looks like Anime Nonsense, the video game, but it feels, from watching the trailer, like a weird combination of like Bayonetta and Devil May Cry. There was one part in the trailer where the main character is in a ridiculous outfit surfing on her giant ass sword like through the level. It just looks absolutely insane, and I'm pretty stoked for it. Then they showed off the new Hoyoverse action RPG Zenless Zone Zero, which fuck you for making me say that shit, Hoyoverse. That's a dickhead move. That's a terrible name. I'm sure it is going to sell ridiculously well, as all the other Hoyoverse stuff does, Honkai Star Rail and whatever. But it looks like more of that. If you like Honkai Star Rail, this is for you. They then showed off the Silent Hill The Short Message, which I downloaded but haven't played yet, and the new Silent Hill 2 remake trailer, which I'm pretty excited about. It did not review very well on the internet. People seem to be like, oh, it looks like fucking Resident Evil. Yeah, it does. They kind of figured some shit out with Resident Evil 4. Of these games work really well when you put the camera right there. Yeah. Like it's not a bad... I don't know. I thought it was a weird fucking thing to say. Some of the animations looked a little wonky, but whatever. I'm still pretty excited about it. It looked fucking gross and creepy, and Silent Hill's great. They showed off this game called Judas that was, another scary game. Metro Awakening was coming to PSVR 2. They are continuing to try, but as much as I enjoyed my time with the PlayStation VR, I have not felt compelled to buy a VR 2. This did not do it for me. It's still missing. I don't know what that killer app is that makes it so that you have to have... I mean, other than the obvious Lawnmower Man simulation, which is what I need. But I don't know what that killer app is for VR, but it's not there yet. They showed off Foam Stars, which is I've also downloaded, also have not played yet, but there's some Season 1 content stuff going on. I'm hoping it's going to be fun. I'm going to try to dive into it this weekend. And I'm also going to dive into the next game whenever it does come out on the PlayStation 4 and 5 in April, which is Dave the Diver. I am very excited to play that. And the Godzilla DLC is coming, which, fuck yeah. I want to serve Godzilla sushi. That's super cool. Did you show that to John?
Oh, yeah. We still don't really know what it is, right? Because they don't really show much in the trailer. But if I can serve sushi to Godzilla, I'll be a happy guy.
Or serve Godzilla sushi? I don't know. It's very exciting. Yeah. I'm super into it. That game looks really, really cool. It's my kind of nonsense. I'm very excited it's coming to PlayStation. There was this Vampire V Rising thing I got really excited at the start of the trailer because I was like, oh shit, this looks like Legacy of Kain. Are they redoing that too? That would be fucking great. And then no, it was V Rising, and I was way less excited. They did show off some new stuff for Rise of the Ronin, that Team Ninja Samurai game, which is a fucking me-ass game if there ever was one. Very excited about that. They showed off an enhanced remake of Until Dawn, which is originally a supermassive joint. It was kind of that first interactive movie story-driven game. I don't know that it needs an enhanced version. It looks totally fine. We'll see. I really liked the original one, so this is great. For people who haven't played it, if you've never made your way through Until Dawn, you get a prettier version. There was a RPG Legendary Tales for PSVR. They showed off Dragon's Dogma 2, which I thought looked terrible. I was really, really unimpressed by it, and I like Dragon's Dogma. This I just thought it looked real bad, and I can't really put my finger on what looks so bad about it. But it just wasn't blowing my skirt up. They showed off a couple things for Helldivers 2, which just came out. Another game that I feel should be right up my alley, but I'm just not interested in. But really, Kris, the main thing was the Death Stranding 2 On the Beach trailer, which, fuck yeah. I'm so excited. I have no idea what I'm excited about. I don't even know. There's a marionette puppet that you put on your waist and it moves at a different, we talked about this a little bit last episode, but it moves at a different frame rate and it talks and makes weird faces, and it's just more Death Stranding and it's more absurdity, and I can't fucking describe the trailer, just like I struggled to describe the game when we talked about it a few years ago. It's fucking weird, man. I don't know. I'm super into it. I can't wait to deliver more packages in this gorgeous looking world. It just looks like an absolutely stunning game. But it looks, there's guitar playing and weird hands. Dude, I don't know. It looked incredible. But then Kojima came out and, was like, we're super excited about this. And then kind of, I thought the big bombshell of the state of play was that he is working exclusively with Sony on a new stealth action espionage title called Physint for right now. Physint. I think that's how you would say that. But Kojima doing Metal Gear without it being Metal Gear will be a really interesting thing. Like, how much of this do we love because it's Snake, and how much of this do we love because it's the ridiculousness that Kojima brings to this, and he makes these games really, really well. But that is not even going to be a thing that they start working on until they're finished with Death Stranding 2, so we're still a little whiles away from that. But that was really the big thing that they did. And then the following week, they did a whole thing for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the PS5, the part 2, basically, of the Final Fantasy VII remake. There's a demo out for that that's really fucking cool. And they did a little bit more of a deep dive on that. But I have avoided that because I do not want to play. I do not want to see anything. I just want the game, And that's where PlayStation's at.
Oh.
Was that quick enough?
Play is pretty. Yeah, that was delightful. Well done.
Okay, thank you.
Well played.
Yeah, it was a state of play that I felt was very much like, yeah, this is all for me. Right on, keep this shit coming. Like, I'm way more excited about
state of play a couple of days later that was all Final Fantasy VII related, right?
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Yeah, and all focused on Rebirth, which is the second game in the remake. And like I was saying, there's a demo out for it. I'm not going to play the demo. I'm not watching any more trailers. I don't want to know anything else. Like, you got me already. I don't need to see anything, Much the same way I feel with, like, movie trailers.
It's that demo that has the piano in it, right? Apparently everyone's playing a piano in some demo right now. I don't know.
Couldn't tell you.
I keep seeing headlines about a piano and a demo. Whatever.
Couldn't tell you.
Well, yeah, that sounds like it was a bit more. It was a bit more packed than State of Plays usually are.
It was. So there was a lot of stuff
really nice
and good, solid looking games. The VR stuff, like I said, is man, it's just not there yet. It's just not. But they did a really good job, I think, with this Stellar Blade game, because the last time they showed it off a couple months ago, it was like, oh, doesn't that look like just another generic third-person action-adventure with a hot chick in a skin-tight outfit, This made it look, I don't know, they did a really good job. I thought this looked way cooler.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, before we get to our break, we did have a last-minute addition for our 500th episode. Matt Flamger was not able to get his top 5 list in in time, so he got it to us like just after. He actually got this to me yesterday via the mail. He made his top 5 personal best
like the actual
meetups.
Mail.
It's in the mail.
Like he sent no shit.
Emailed it to me.
Sent a letter
to me. Emailed it to me. So yeah, it's a top 5 personal best geekade meetups. So number 5, the first live Stone Age Gamer podcast I got to see. Probably the first time I saw you guys was at Too Many Games 2015. One of the main reasons I enjoy going to conventions was the various panels that were there. I was looking at the panels and saw one called Stone Age Gamer Podcast. It's dangerous to go alone, take $20. I hadn't gotten into listening to podcasts yet and wasn't familiar with what Stone Age Gamer was, but I was intrigued to find out what it was. Suffice to say, I was not disappointed and have been pretty much listening ever since. Oh, and also about halfway into the live podcast, while Kris was explaining what Geekade is, I got a text on my phone, and because it wasn't on silent, it echoed my text notification throughout this little room we were in. Thank you, Kris and Dan, for not getting upset about the Zelda Ocarina of Time song jingle interrupting your live podcast. No problem, Matt.
Yeah, no, God, like that's
who won that
never
year?
going to be a thing. I don't even fucking remember.
I had a garbage can full of e-readers and I still didn't win. I lost out to a fucking kimono. Number 4, getting the nerve to talk to Kris, Dean, and everybody else from Stone Age Gamer. Over the course of various meetups at conventions, I've gotten a chance to get to know a lot of the contributors for Geekade, as well as the awesome people that run Stone Age Gamer. There has to be a first, though, and that was Too Many Games 2016. SAG once again had their booth there, and Kris was working the booth that weekend. Once again, did the Buy Something Will Ya podcast, which was always fun to watch and participate in. But the highlight for me was being able to stop you guys at the SAG booth and get to talk with you guys. I remember that. That was really cool. Meeting you actually made my day, too. It was one of those things where it's not often somebody comes up to me and says, I know you from the thing that you do. And that was really a very special experience for me, too. So thank you, Matt.
Right, except for porn, obviously.
Right.
God,
right.
I've seen all your movies. Great.
Nobody really recognizes my face from that.
Just your curve.
Number 3, trying to find the elusive Sega Genesis classic James Pond at Long Island Retro. Long Island
that was a
RetroCon
mission.
2022. What a fun weekend that was, especially after a little incident that happened in 2020 that locked us all away for a couple of years. This was the first convention I had been to since that little incident, and also one of the only times that I got to spend more than about 5 minutes with Dan. It was great to be able to spend a day with some absolutely great human beings I hadn't personally seen in over 3 years at that point. Walking around the vendor floor, helping Kris find a copy of James Pond for Genesis to no avail, and then ending the day with the live podcast ranking every NES publisher. That was fun.
Was that
I like Long Island Retro.
That was really fun too. I had a blast that day. Was that the fucking podcast where Katie ripped a fart and didn't fucking?
I don't know.
She blamed it on like somebody else. It was fucking awesome.
Oh boy!
Great. I think that was
2,
that year. I think so.
Number 2, beating one of the hosts of Waveback at Video Game Music Trivia. Getting to meet more people from Geekade and being able to participate in a live video game music trivia contest. One of the other contestants in the contest was Matt from Waveback Podcast, another great human being. The trivia was a lot of fun, although I'm not 100% convinced that Matt didn't let me win that contest. I bet he 100% did not let you win. Like, it's just, you won that fair and square. I then proceeded to get my butt kicked in. All right, I proceeded to get my butt kicked in Street Fighter 3 by Kris on a sit-down arcade machine. All in all, it was a great day to spend with great human beings. Oh, that was a lot of fun. I love Street Fighter 3.
It is not bad.
And number 1, getting a great big hug from a great human being. I was really excited to be able to get out to Too Many Games in 2023, but even more than that, I was excited to be able to see people I hadn't gotten to see in a while. I wasn't expecting to get a hug that day, but Kris said he just had to give me one for being so generous and giving him a vinyl record of the soundtrack to VVVVVV. I said when you gave that to me, the next time I see you, you're getting a big fucking hug, and I'm a man of my word. Checked out of the convention and then went and saw Rex Viper. Oh, that was so much fun. And Kris finally found that elusive James Pond for Sega Genesis. Goddamn right I did. Oh, yeah, that was a great one. That was a great one, Matt. You're a good dude. And he says, congratulations on making it to 500 episodes, guys. I wish I could have gotten this to you last week for the actual 500th episode, but life happens. I look forward to being able to meet up with you guys again in the future at whatever events you guys might be able to attend. Keep on being the amazing humans that you are, and here's to 500 more episodes. You know I'll still be listening.
Fuck yeah. You're an awesome...
Fuck yeah.
Awesome dude. I love it. Yeah. You guys are
thank
great.
you very much for that list. Yeah, thank you.
You're great.
I agree that all of those moments were specific highlights in the realm of doing all of this Geekade stuff for me as well. So that was... Thank you very much for the email, Matt. That was wonderful. And with that, we're going to take ourselves a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to board the SAG Cartoon Express and talk about Bubsy. You're listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast from Geekade.com. Stick around.
We are Safe at Home, the leading dog rescue in the heart of New Jersey. Are you searching for a loyal companion, a dog that will bring love and joy to your home? Look no further than Safe at Home. At Safe at Home, we believe in giving every dog a second chance. We rescue, rehabilitate, and find loving forever homes for dogs in need, right here in the Garden State. Our dogs are ready to make a lasting impact on your life. Each one has a unique story, a wagging tail, and an incredible capacity for love. When you adopt from Safe at Home, you're not just gaining a pet, you're becoming a part of our family. Our dedicated team ensures a seamless adoption process, providing ongoing support and guidance. With New Jersey's beautiful parks, beaches, and trails, you and your new furry friend will have endless opportunities for adventures and cherished memories. Safe at Home relies on the support of compassionate individuals like you. Your donations and volunteer work enable us to continue saving lives and finding forever homes for these amazing dogs. Join us in creating a safer, happier community for dogs in New Jersey. Together we can make a difference and give every dog the chance to feel safe at home. Visit our website or call us now to learn about how you can be a part of the Safe at Home mission. Safe at Home, because every dog deserves to be loved and protected. www.safeathomerescue.org.
Hi everyone, Kris here. Podcast listening is free, but podcast creation is not. That's why the Geekade Patreon exists. In an effort to help us pay the bills, we've got a Patreon page set up where you can gain access to our monthly podcast topic schedule, get early access to many of our shows, and more. If you'd like to help support Geekade and keep these shows running week after week, head over to the Geekade Patreon page, linked in the show notes of this very podcast. We are back, and we're here with the very first installment of the Stone Age Gamer Cartoon Express. I feel like this is a great idea, and I think this is going to be a lot of fun. But I guess there's only one way to find out, and that's to actually begin talking about it. The whole purpose of the Stone Age Gamer Cartoon Express is that we have compiled a collection of old video game-related cartoons, and every month we're going to pick a random episode of one of these various cartoons, watch it, and then discuss it on the show. And we figured there was no better place to start than with the pilot episode for the failed Bubsy cartoon that never got off the ground. So, let's get the basic information out of the way. Bubsy Oh my God! All right, so Bubsy is a video game. In case you are unaware, Bubsy and Claw's Encounters of the Third Kind. It was a mascot character invented for Accolade, and there was an animated series. It attempted to be in the works from Calico Entertainment and Imagination Factory. Let's see. According to Wikipedia, Bubsy also had a pilot episode for an animated series sponsored by Taco Bell in 1993, titled What Could Possibly Go Wrong? Calico Entertainment and Imagination Factory jointly produced the pilot for airing on Bobot Communications' Kids Day Off syndication package for Thanksgiving 1993. It featured new additions to the Bubsy franchise not made by the original Bubsy producer Michael Berlin, as he was on hiatus from Accolade at the time. These included Virgil Reality, a genius inventor and scientist, Oblivia, Virgil's assistant and planned future love interest for Bubsy, Allie, the main antagonist, along with Buzz and Sid, her two henchmen. The pilot was produced by Calico Creations. Rob Paulson provides the voice of Bubsy, alongside voices from Tress McNeil. Yeah. Who is known for voicing Gadget on Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers and Babs Bunny on Tiny Toon Adventures. Jim Cummings, who was famous for voicing Winnie the Pooh. Pat Fraley, who did Ninja Turtles cartoon. And let's see. Oh, geez, he was the voice of Krang, Casey Jones, and Baxter Stockman in the old Ninja Turtles cartoon. B.J. Ward, she was a star of Stand Up Opera, a musical one-woman show. And Neil Ross, who did voices on G.I. Joe, Spider-Man, My Life as a Teenage Robot, Voltron, and Transformers. B.J. Ward, are you who I think you are? I think she was Scarlet on G.I. Joe. One of the two kid characters on this show was the same woman who did Daisy Duck for eons. Anyways. So,
yeah, this is a... Man,
It is not a mystery why this did not get picked up for series.
Oh my God, it was so fucking bad.
It is terrible.
It is a bold choice to make your main character staggeringly unlikable.
And not only that, but not fit in with anything else in this cartoon. Like, you can tell that Bubsy was designed by someone else. Because he's the only character who looks like that. Everyone else is so much more over-designed than Bubsy is, right? Because Bubsy has this very classic design, right? Just the way his head's shaped, the t-shirt, like, he has a classic inspired design. Everything else on here
is not a bad design. Like, as a mascot character, Bubsy is pretty okay.
As far
the game and all of that stuff,
the physical drawing of Bubsy, not so bad. The other things that surround it, and I would even venture to say that a lot of the first game, not all of it by a long shot, but a lot of the first game exhibits decent ideas. This show has none of that. This show was fucking terrible. I was having a hard time getting through it, and everybody in the Discord had the exact same reaction as I do. So we were all watching this version that's up on YouTube that had its original airing, so it had all the old commercials in it, and the commercials were so much more entertaining than the fucking show. I mean, I found
it really interesting. Sorry, because I watched it with Tiff, and Penn came down for a couple minutes, and she was like, "Oh, this is kind of funny," and I was like, "Get the fuck out." But I watched it with Tiff, and we kind of were talking about the fact that whether intentionally or not, most of the commercials that were shown were either not aimed at children, or the ones that were aimed at children were aimed at girls.
That is interesting.
We know that cartoons are nothing but marketing for toys, right? Especially back then, they were commercials for toys or for video games or for properties. So for this to be focusing, like there's a Barbie thing in there, and I forget what a couple of the other ones were, but I just found it interesting.
Bumbleball for little kids, little kids.
Yeah, like
Bumbleball.
I thought Bubsy would be more of a boy thing, just with the attitude and the character, just all of that. It always skewed more as like a little boy game for whatever that's worth, which is not much. But in the eyes of marketing, I just thought that was interesting.
What I thought was interesting were the furniture prices in that furniture.
In Value Cities, 36-hour marathon sale.
Was it like a recliner
for a daybed,
like
Kris?
$60? What the shit?
Yeah. $59 for a daybed. Let's go get it.
God. That's I'll buy two. Thank you very much. At that price? Wow. So yeah,
I got a recliner off of Amazon. Not for nothing. I got a recliner off of Amazon for like $90, and it's like a slim profile recliner, so it's not like this big oversized comfy thing. But it is very comfortable, and it was like flat pack shipped. It's pretty awesome.
Huh.
So they do still exist if you're looking for one.
To your point,
anyway.
Bubsy is astoundingly unlikable in this show.
Oh, it's so annoying.
He's just awful. He's mean to that poor armadillo. His whole
fucking
shtick.
armadillo, who is terrified of getting run over by a truck, which is a good thing for an armadillo to be scared of. That's probably going to happen. He's such a dick about it. He really He basically spends the entire beginning of the episode talking to the armadillo and basically saying, "Stop being such a fucking pussy." Like, that's the message that was given, but also saying what could possibly go wrong multiple times.
And that's the thing that's really weird about this, is that it draws almost no inspiration from its source material. Like, almost none. The point of the original, like the Bubsy character, was that he was this self-aware star of video games, right? That was the whole thing.
Right.
Like, his shtick was that he was aware that he was the star of a video game and that he was kind of a big deal. Like, that was the joke. It wasn't a good joke, but that was the joke. No. That's nowhere to be seen in this. He's just kind of an ass. And none of the game,
the whole time,
none of the world looks anything like any of the levels in Bubsy. None of it.
No, his house is like this weird Native American that was very popular at the 90s. It was like, oh, we're going to get a bunch of teal Native American shit and put it in our house because it's Southwestern. But it had like that fucking color scheme, which I thought was very odd.
And it was very strange. His TV was really something special. Like, that TV was amazing. It was very strange shape for a TV. But, you know, you had all these really colorful classic cartoon locales in the original Bubsy. And none of that's there. None of the music was reprised from the cartoon. And the Woolies were not there, like the villains.
The villains
invented some other cat with giant tits to be the villain.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck that's about. Yikes. And then and you look at all the other characters, they just don't fucking fit. Or it's not that they don't fit, it's that Bubsy doesn't fit in that world. And he's got these two, like this niece and nephew that at one point say, "Uncle Bubsy, we're bored." And I wrote, "I hear you, kids."
I'm with you.
I was pretty goddamn bored too.
Yeah,
this was but it wasn't completely devoid of references to the game because they kept using quotes from the game.
Yeah.
Like, it's got nothing to do with the game except when they would say, like, one of the random quotes that he would say before a level in the game. And I wish I had written down which ones they were. I think I spotted two other ones that were like, oh, he said something about whatever blows your hair back. And
yeah.
jeez, I can't remember the other one. But what a strange thing to pick from that. It was like they just got a list of things that he said in the game, and they're like, all right, well, that's the first stage. What could possibly go wrong? That's going to be his catchphrase. And then we'll just have him say a few of these other things that the only people will know are references to the game are people who got that far in this incredibly difficult game. Like, who's picking up on that shit? It's fucking insane.
It really, really is.
The cartoon was wretched.
It was as bad as Echo the Dolphin is a video game. Echo the Dolphin and Chase. It was just such a strange. I don't know. Obviously, like, it's not the best cartoon ever made, but I don't know that a straight up, like, retelling of whatever, like, of whatever story is there in Bubsy with the Woolies. I don't know that that's a terrible idea for a cartoon show. For, like, a syndicated after-school cartoon show, there's 26 episodes there, like that. There's a story that you could have followed, but why all this?
I have no idea.
It's odd.
It's odd, and
this was the pilot. This was the thing that you were trying to sell, and you made it.
It did look like it was trying really hard to recapture that zaniness that Warner Brothers was doing so well at the time. With like Animaniacs premiered around the same time as this, or earlier in the year, right? Animaniacs was early '93, and this was around Thanksgiving. I think was when I said this. Bubsy thing aired. And there's even a
fucking injury lawyer. Around the holidays, sometimes people even drink. Don't drink and drive.
Oh and if God, you do,
if you're involved in an accident,
commercials.
That was the best part.
Loved the Make-A-Wish one with the cellular phone.
Yeah,
the cellular phone that came with like a backpack and all this other stuff. Like, holy crap. A cellular phone was an apparatus back then. Amazing.
Yeah, that's sorry, I just got super distracted because this is odd. My father-in-law, who's an abusive prick from Texas, just got arrested for assaulting my brother-in-law, who's an abusive prick from Staten Island. And frankly, they fucking deserve each other, and I'm happy they live together. They've lived together for like 3 months, and my father-in-law just got arrested. And if I would have bet money on it, I would have definitely taken the under on that. So, sorry, Tiff just texted me that Ronnie just got arrested for assaulting John. It's like, oh, yeah, no, that makes sense. Anyway.
That all adds up.
Oh, God, this just sucked. It just fucking sucked. What I can't imagine is the episode aired, the only time it aired, except for being included on the Super Bubsy game. It aired on November 28th, 1993 at 7 a.m. in the fuck morning. Like, could you imagine getting up, being all fucking excited for morning cartoons, and this is what assaults your senses at 7 in the morning? Good God.
And look, I was very, very forgiving of video game related cartoons, right?
Yeah. Super Mario Brothers Super Show is not good.
No,
but I like it.
Unironically enjoyed that and Captain N, that Mega Man show. This I would have hated then as much as I hate now. Just, my God, what a putrid experience this entire thing was.
What a way to kick off the Cartoon Express. We had a bump right out of the gate.
We're only gonna get better from here.
I mean, are we? That's kind of the thing. Like, what's interesting about this is that there are a lot of video game cartoons, and most of them, taking off the rose-colored nostalgia glasses that we have for things like Captain N and The Legend of Zelda and all of that, most of them are abysmal.
Well,
they're
that's the
just
thing.
garbage.
I recently rewatched.
I think
the Zelda one. I recently rewatched the Zelda cartoon, and no, it's not good, but it has redeeming qualities. There are things about it that are really neat and kind of interesting, and this doesn't have those. This has. No. It's so poorly written that it's just super jumbled and kind of crunched together. This is what I was looking at. The Quintex cellular phone. That is fucking amazing. It's this huge black satchel, this just enormous black satchel with this giant phone tethered to it with a phone cord. Oh my God. I just... Chef
well,
kiss.
And what I think is interesting about, like, you say the writing is just so bad, and it really was, and I don't think we often think about writing as far as like kids' cartoons are concerned. But if you look at the talent that was involved in this, the main character Bubsy is voiced by Rob Paulsen. That dude is Pinky, Yakko on fucking Pinky and the Brain and Animaniacs. He was the original Raphael, and then in the 2002
he was
Turtles, that's really good. He was Donatello in that. Like, this is a dude who's really good and an unbelievably well-respected voice actor. And he's not
alone. There was a bunch of other people who have done a ton of... We just went over the cast list in the beginning. Like, these people have done a ton of cartoons. And this pilot is just such utter garbage.
Because they had nothing to work with. You know? If Rob Paulsen sounds like shit on your show, then you have really fucked up. Because that guy's great and can do whatever. I'm looking at his page right now, and he fucking has done whatever. He has done fucking everything. Jesus Christ. You know, like, it's interesting. The quality of the writing was just so poor. It was like they just really weren't taking it very seriously. Like, it's Bubsy. It doesn't fucking matter. We'll just throw it together.
The kids are going to love it because they're going to love this game. And then the kids did not love this game.
Kids did not love this game. It is not surprising in the least bit that this was not picked up to series.
Agreed. Because it was really,
never
really
want
bad.
to speak of this again.
Oh my God. The other thing I want to mention, what was with the stupid fucking live action public domain?
I thought that was the coolest part. I love when they would do that shit on Muppet Babies.
Yeah, I don't think it worked here at all. I don't think it worked.
No, it didn't.
The fuck all.
But I thought at least that was somewhat an interesting call to, like, the meta self-referential nature of what Bubsy is. I think maybe that's what they were going for, or they just thought it'd be neat.
I think they were just trying to find ways to fill the runtime.
We are so out of shit already. That is certainly possible.
But like you said before, it didn't have to be. It's not like... I mean, no, the idea for a Bubsy cartoon isn't a great one. But
there is a story there.
It's not like there was no potential there.
Yeah.
What I find absolutely hilarious is that the latest Bubsy game, the one from Choice Provisions, brought characters from the cartoon into the game. Like, his niece and nephew are in the game, that Armadillo is in the game. It's like
what are you
absolute
guys doing?
Insanity.
Why? Why are you doing it?
You gotta love the hustle. You just gotta love the hustle.
I don't know if I love it, but I do respect it, I suppose.
The plot of the cartoon was that there was a set of VR goggles that could just bring anything you imagine into physical reality?
I mean, that seems like the killer app that the PlayStation VR needs.
Seriously.
Like, I can just blink twice and have a fucking whatever.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was very odd.
What a strange plot device.
I did not care for it.
Utterly mystified by every single thing that happened during this show. That weird purple rat thing that seemed like it was doing a Rain Man impression at some point. Like,
it was a shrew.
Wow. You're a shrew.
He yelled that a few times.
But everyone kept calling him a rat.
Yeah, because it's funny.
And he got angry about it.
To misgender.
To misspecies something.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but the equivalent of misgendering an animal. Yeah, it's real funny.
Watching these commercials and everything did really make me nostalgic for pre-internet days.
It did.
I was just watching the whole thing about mail in this and to enter to win a thing and go to this place for these physical goods, and it just made me miss it just made me look at everything that the internet is and think, boy, we really went wrong here, didn't we?
Yeah, we really shouldn't have.
We really shouldn't have.
Really shouldn't have.
We really shouldn't be this connected. Or like watch this thing on TV that's going to happen at this time. Like, well, now everything's on demand, just about. You know, the exception of sports, like everything is on demand. You want to watch the new thing, you watch it whenever you're going to watch it. And I know that's so much better in so many ways, but at the same time, it really misses.
It's not.
You miss some of that. Well, you miss a lot of what made these things special.
Think back. I know the last season, most people, I am not one of them, most people despise the last season of Game of Thrones. But that was a fucking event when the season of Game of Thrones was happening. Like, if you didn't watch it Sunday night, you couldn't fucking talk to anybody on Monday. Because everybody was, oh, fuck, did you see Game of Thrones last night? Holy shit, it was so fucking crazy. Wow, this happened, that happened. It was such a callback to how it used to be. You know, before Netflix was like, here, have everything, and binge and stream and all of that. Where, you know, you had to be there. It was like destination watching, you know. I fucking love that part of it. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I agree. We should
nostalgic.
We shouldn't have done it. We should have put it back in the box. But can't put the milk back in the udder, Kris.
Not with that attitude, you can't.
Not without some strong pliers
and a funnel.
Or fucking, what's the speculum? I think that's what it's good. This is going in a weird direction. All right, I'm done. I don't want to talk about fucking Bubsy cartoon anymore. I don't. We're going into a weird direction. Do you want the details? Apparently, this is the kind of real life podcast you get. The cops were out this afternoon because they were fighting. Later on in the evening, my father-in-law swatted my brother-in-law with fishing poles, but somebody recorded it and they left marks on him. So they arrested him. He's currently in jail, and my brother-in-law has put out a protective order against a man who lives in his home, so he can't come back. And Tiff responded with, "This is working out awesome. Who could have known?" I knew! Anyway. Boy. Family's weird, right. Kris. Family's a weird thing. Because I am sort of related to these fuckers. And, yeah. Boy.
Well, on that note, I think it's time to wrap things up. I think that's 5:01 in the can.
That's it.
And the first Cartoon Express. Thanks for watching along with us, everybody. Oh, we should probably figure out what the next one is now, right? Give everybody a month to do it.
Yeah, put it in the randomizer.
All right, let's see. Let's get this up and running. Get this up and cooking. Let's go to the
Geekade Randomizer, patent pending.
What am I looking for? I'm looking for playlists. Looking for this Cartoon Express.
While you're doing that, I
just gotta press a button.
Oh, okay. Well, all right,
one
press
button,
the
press
button.
away.
And I will stop. I will then say it.
All right. Our episode is going to be Mega Man, Season 2, Episode 12, Bad Day at Peril Park.
Oh, good.
I'm excited. Oh, my God. Super
too.
Fighting Robot. Mega Man.
Mega Man.
Oh, you know what? How did the Bubsy show not have a super cool intro? There was no catchy intro or anything to that. That was like the hallmark of all of these old cartoons. They at least had fun intros. Bubsy couldn't even get that shit right. What a goddamn travesty this show was.
All right, give it to us one more time. Mega Man Season 2, Episode
12, Bad Day at Peril Park.
Okay. So that is your homework, kids.
1 month, about a month. I don't know. It's probably going to be a little less, just because the episode 500 threw off our scheduling a little bit. We'll get that sussed out, but we'll keep everyone posted on the situation. And yeah, Mega Man Season 2, Episode 12, Bad Day at Peril Park is your homework.
What I was going to say, because I thought it was going to take you a second longer, but it didn't. Whatever, that's fine. For anybody who is around our age and was into the grunge alternative music scene back in the day. If you were a fan of Dinosaur Jr., which I was a gigantic fan of Dinosaur Jr., Jay Macias from that band has continued to put out new music. And last week, I meant to bring it up, but it just didn't feel like the right time with all the nonsense going on last week. He put out a new record called What Do We Do Now? And it is just fucking great. It is just great. And I highly recommend that everybody listen to it.
Okay. I have nothing to add to that. Other than
Were you a Dinosaur Jr.
did
guy?
The soundtrack to Godzilla Final Wars,
which is
and
awesome.
It's amazing.
I don't know if they know that they did the soundtrack to Final Wars,
but they fucking did. I don't know a lot of Dinosaur Jr. I'm vaguely familiar with them, so I'm not a fan, but I'm also not.
I think you should find this record. What Do We Do Now? It is. I know we're only a month and a week into the year, but very strong contender for my favorite record that will be released this year. So, yeah, check it out.
Apparently, Taco Bell decided to host its own E3. What?
Yeah, it was awesome. It's a big Cheez-It thing. It's fucking great. We're not getting into it. No, we're done. Good night, everybody. Fuck off.
There's a neon green pie? What the fuck is happening?
It was a
right
joke.
now?
It was a Baja Blast because it's 20th anniversary. We already did week old news, Chris. You didn't bring it up, and neither did I. Moving on. I love you,
Weird.
But this is a Discord conversation.
There you go. That's our show. Join us next time for the Alphabet Super Series. Dan picked Jersey Devil for PlayStation, and by gum, we're going to talk about it. I'm working on it, Dan. I'm working on it. I don't have a way to easily emulate PlayStation games, I've found. So
really,
I was trying to track down a copy of the game, but it's actually fairly expensive. So I've been kind of like fucking around trying to figure out how am I going to play this goddamn game, because I don't have I have my Raspberry Pi, but it's kind of weirdly busted, so I have no idea how to add games to it and make them function. So my last resort now is I just remembered I have that PlayStation Mini thing.
Well, you
PlayStation
could
1
put
Mini.
It on. Yeah, I was going to say you could put it on the arcade cabinet. That'll run a PlayStation emulator.
I don't even know how. I don't know how to add games to that. But yeah, sure, I could I suppose I could try to figure that out.
Yeah.
I'm going to try doing the
hard.
PlayStation Mini, because there's a couple of walkthroughs on there that might be a little bit more straightforward before I try to figure out how to add a PlayStation emulator to that thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'll figure it out. That didn't even occur to me to try to do the arcade cabinet. I think the easiest course of action is going to be the PlayStation Mini, but we're going to need to cool it on the fucking PlayStation 1 games after this one.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyways, we're going to talk about that game, Jersey Devil for PlayStation. We're on most social media platforms, and if you want to get in touch with us, we aren't very difficult to find. All it takes is a quick look at our show notes, and you'll see links to our social media accounts, as well as all manner of other fun stuff, like a link to our namesake, StoneAgeGamer.com, and more useful links than you can shake a joystick at. If you'd like to get early access to this show's episodes, as well as a bevy of other shows in the Geekade Podcast Network, check out our Patreon, also linked to in the show notes. It helps keep the show running week after week, and all our patrons are loved and appreciated. This show's theme song, Squared Roots, was written by Banjo Guy Ollie. You can learn all about his wonderful music and more by following the link to his YouTube channel, also in the show notes. And finally, as always, we'd like to thank our intrepid editor, Evan, for making the show listenable for all you folks. We'd like to thank all you folks for listening in the first place. That's it, everybody. On behalf of Dan and myself, keep playing games.